Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good night, and welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And we're excited to be here.
Listen, thanks for checking in.
Welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And G. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
G.
What's up?
This is very important. I'm going to have a heart-to-heart with you.
Uh-oh.
If you look at the calendar, G.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
No way.
It's been a year that we've been on. We have been on the air for 1 year.
Oh, man. If I had known.
G,
I
knew I was going to surprise you with that one.
Oh, my goodness.
G, it's been a year.
Happy anniversary.
Oh. Last year this time, we were trying to create something.
Yeah.
We had no idea which direction it was going to go into, but it was all passion. All we had was our passion and our drive.
Oh, my goodness.
And we had the right producer.
And your wild idea, right?
Listen,
I love it.
It's just amazing that we can sit here. Yeah, I knew that was going to
You
hit you.
did catch me, man.
Listen, it means a lot to me.
It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to have you. But most importantly, I remember when I first found Kay. When I say, Kay, this is my idea.
Yeah.
Can you make it happen? And he said, absolutely.
And like
a year in. And a year in, all three of us are here as a team making this happen. This doesn't happen without three people like-minded saying we believe in each other.
Each playing their part.
Everybody playing their part. Mm-hmm. You know what I call ourselves?
What?
Run DMC and Jam Master J.
You call him Jam Master K, just like
Jam Master K. So I mean, this is an amazing. I mean, last year Christmas time, we were on air and people were saying, "Let me see what they got." And I'm not saying the numbers make us successful,
right?
But the numbers do help to show that people are saying, "Yeah, absolutely." And we came out the gate strong. We brought on a lot of celebrities because only God knew that we'll go through that drought where we didn't know everything was going on, the writer's strike and everything. Correct.
That's what when the word says walking on water, this has been that. Like, let's just take a journey one step at a time. Let's see where it takes us. So I can't tell you what it means, like, because y'all don't know. You don't know where we were last year.
I have no
and
clue.
what and the travels, the journey to be here.
And besides my beautiful wife Tashima and
my wonderful husband Adam,
we have Dr. Ed Joyner, who has supported us
all the way,
the entire way, every single week.
Yeah. If we could show you the text messages after the episodes.
Giving us ideas, letting us know, if you don't mind, I have some people.
Suggestions
because when we
guests.
first went into this, we didn't have a solid team. Let's be honest.
Right.
You know,
it was an idea.
It was an idea, but we had one or two, besides our spouses, that believed in us.
Yeah.
You know, that, no, I love what you're doing, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people have fallen off along the way, and we've gained some fans along the way that has supported us. So I just think that's great. Before we bring on Pastor Jason Goubourn from
New Haven, Connecticut.
And
my baby
Church
brother
on the Rock. I'm excited.
My baby brother.
Yeah. Gigi, listen. This
brother.
is Gigi's baby brother.
Yeah.
So for anyone tuning in from out of state and from around, this is her baby brother.
He's my baby brother and my pastor.
And her pastor.
Yes.
And what's the name of the church?
Church on the Rock in New Haven.
In New Haven, Connecticut. All right. So this is exciting, okay?
This is.
But I wanted to catch G off guard because I know
did.
she wasn't, she has a lot going on and she wasn't thinking. But this is our anniversary. We've been on a year. So if you don't mind, share this one, but also go back and look at our guests. We've had some amazing guests.
And had some great moments together.
Some great moments. And I want to thank you. And I want to go all the way back to the beginning and thank my dear friend, and I'll be touching base with her real soon, Renee Lawless.
That's right.
So
Guest
Renee
number one.
Absolutely.
Listen, you said it, but I since you caught me off guard, I have to say this. And I've said it before, but I thank this young man, Teef. I thank you. We've known each other for many years. But to reach out, and you have no idea, but you reached out at a time that I really needed something creative to do, something fun to do, something generative to do. And you opened the door and made an invitation, and we've been doing this thing for a year, and I have enjoyed it and really enjoy our friendship. Yes, sir.
Right back at you. I sincerely appreciate it. It's Christmas time. Jesus is in the air. And I sincerely thank you. And we have a great time. We work together well, extremely well. And you are my friend on camera and off camera.
Yes.
In any type of situations I have, I call you and we just hey, let's meet at Panera Bread. Let's talk.
That's what it is, right?
Listen, it is what it is.
Oh,
So
man,
thank
good
you guys
stuff.
for tuning in, and we're gonna get into our next video. I hope you guys are ready. You ready? Here we go. Welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And G, I'm excited today.
Yes, so
and let me tell you why I'm excited. Look at this guy. Look at this. This is Gigi's brother. Ladies and gentlemen.
Wait. Baby brother.
Baby brother. Who I have not seen in over 30 years. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I have not seen him, and I'm excited.
Yes.
But I mean, I can't wait to hear his story because I have known him for a very long time. The family.
Yeah.
First of all. And just to have you here is an honor, first of all. And we're going to move forward with it. He's Pastor Jason Goubourn from Church on the Rock, located in New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Jason.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. It's such a pleasure. It's just awesome to be here with Teef and Gigi.
Hey!
Let's get it.
Having some jazzy conversation.
Oh, we're so excited, Pastor. We've been able to God be the glory.
Yeah.
If you go on Temple University, we have our podcast up there. You go to the University of Findlay. We have our biggest fans. It's crazy, but they're from California, the LA area, because of some of the people we brought on. South Carolina, and of course in Connecticut and Philly area. So we're just excited to have you. We're excited to have you. I can't wait to hear your story because in my mindset, I ask about the siblings all the time.
Yes,
am I right?
all
Gigi?
the time.
And I know all you guys. And you know, I've been in your house many times back when you were younger.
Back in the day. You were
been
just a
long
young
time.
thing running around and I'm having high school parties.
So absolutely. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go through the process because I want people to Google who you are. I want them to Google Church on the Rock, located in this wonderful city of New Haven, Connecticut. And I want to go through the process, not just being Gigi's brother, but you've created a huge platform and a huge lane for yourself. And that's very, very important in this city. All right. Is that okay with you?
And we're going to go back
fine.
before Church on the Rock because we want to hear even your journey to becoming a pastor.
Absolutely. So we're going to go back.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning. Where were you born and raised?
Born and raised in the Elm City, New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes.
I went to all my life. I've lived in New Haven. I recently moved to Hamden in, I want to say 2019, something like that.
Yeah.
But before then, Elm City has always been my home.
Okay. Now, what schools did you go to?
I went to Quinnipiac Elementary School. Then I went to Betsy Ross Arts Magnet School for middle school. Then I went to Wilbur Cross High School, home of the Governors. Let's go.
Let's go,
Class
Governors.
Hey, class of 2000.
Did you have a position? Did you win something when your senior year? Or
I mean, it's cross royalty in the building, you know.
What was it?
I was Mr. Senior.
All right. It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
It's in the building.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Class of 2000. Class of 2000.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh man, this is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I ask. I'm not doing anything different. So here's what I ask all our guests. Do you have any siblings?
I do have siblings.
Okay.
I have 3 amazing siblings. I love them with all my heart.
Okay.
Susel's the oldest sister. Then I got this other one. Her name is Gigi. You know, she's
She be around.
but she's amazing. Gigi of the Teef and Gigi.
I love it.
And then I have my older brother, Pierre. We call him Mikey. Then there's me.
I love it. Now, big shout out to Suzelle, Pierre, and of course my partner Gigi. I know the entire family. I even know the parents. I used to come to your house a lot when we were in high school for all the parties and everything. And Suzelle was actually a senior when we were freshmen in high school, and she was so cool. She was so cool.
Listen, I just want everybody to realize that we just dispelled a myth, because we did have parties at my house when I was in high school, so I wasn't just the nerd.
No,
right?
I was surprised that you even said that.
From what I remember, the parties. I mean, I was a little one, dipping through the crowds, but the parties was crazy.
The parties was crazy. I was literally honest. I don't want to get into it because I know people was waiting to watch this interview, but I was kind of surprised when she said that on set. I was like, "What? That's how you can't win." I'm just being. I don't care if you're watching from Brooklyn or LA or Chicago. You can't win Mrs. Senior and be corny. I'm just anyway. I want to.
Yeah, no, you got to be somebody.
If you went to school at that time, you were in that class, so you can't have a different, outlook. That you was there. It was way before we got jobs and became who we are. But anyway, with that being said, let's get into your story. So you went to all those schools. You graduate from Wilbur Cross, right? Now, what does it look like? Where did you go to college?
I went to Southern Connecticut State University, and I graduated with a degree in secondary English education.
Oh, okay, great. Now, after graduating, what did you do right after graduation?
Yeah, so that's where things get interesting. Okay. So when I go back a little bit. When I was how far y'all want to go back?
Because we want it all. Because whoever's watching this, they want to know your story, because they might not know your story.
Yeah, so that was my schooling, but I'll go back to as early as late middle school, early high school. Okay. My parents, this was kind of was one of the catalysts to a lot of what took place in my life. My parents went through a very difficult divorce. It was ugly. It was drawn out. It was no fun. It just really broke our hearts in a lot of ways. And all of my siblings kind of handled it differently. They gravitated towards different things, I think, as a way of coping. I know that my oldest sister, she got really into her social life. Okay. I know Gigi, you were in college. I got
into school. I was in Temple. I was away in school, and I was.
Yeah. She got it. She was in school, and she was in her studies. I mean, not detached. Nobody detached, but that she just focused a lot on the school. Our thing. Right. And my brother went into the streets. I mean, he got into, involved in, New Haven in the 90s. It was real. And so he had a whole bunch of different things going on in the streets. And I gravitated towards the arts. I went to Betsy Ross, and that really opened up my eyes to music and musicianship and singing and writing and all these different things. And so I kind of started really delving into the arts in middle school. Flash forward to high school, I auditioned for a performing arts repertory company by the name of City Kids Foundation. Still exists in Manhattan, New York, but they had a branch that they launched in New Haven. And so I was able to audition for that. And I was accepted in that as a vocal captain and a songwriter and performer. And so this was actually funded by Michael Bolton Foundation. And so Michael Bolton had a spot right there on Ella Grasso Boulevard in New Haven. We had an amazing studio. We had an amazing performance space, funded the whole thing. Shout out to Michael Bolton. Just an awesome thing that he was doing for the youth in New Haven. And so there, I learned the craft of songwriting. I learned the craft of getting your voice to sound like you want it to sound and like how people would want to hear it. Yeah. And then also learn the art of performing, how to move a crowd, how to engage a crowd, all these different things. So from there, through City Kids, I was able to perform in, I don't know how many different places.
We never even knew where you were going to be.
Right, Madison Square Garden, Avery Fitzgerald Hall, and in Manhattan. I performed with Gloria Estefan and Savion Glover, the tap dancer. We performed on. At the Apollo Theater. We performed, all we went overseas to Denmark. We performed in various football stadiums. We were just all over the place. Disney Channel. And so we were all over the place. And these were all through, original songs that I was able to help write and then perform. And so through City Kids, it was just an awesome opportunity to really just see the world and to delve into the arts, which I thought was an amazing thing. From City Kids, a group was formed. So there was a couple of guys that I met through City Kids, and there were two of them, and we formed a group. So the director of City Kids Foundation, artistic director, saw the talent in myself and two of my bandmates and formed a group. Wow. And so I didn't realize this, but this is around my senior year of high school. I was getting ready to age out of, well, you can't really age out of City Kids, but I was kind of looking to see what was new and what was out there for me. I was also getting ready to start college. And so there was a lot of different things going on. But right around my senior year, artistic director of City Kids pulled me to the side, and two of the other guys said, hey, listen, we want to start a music group. Are you guys interested in singing R&B? And we were like, of course. We were singing all this time anyway. And so we used those same songwriting skills and same performance art skills, and we put them into this group. Now, I didn't know this, but the artistic director of City Kids was very connected in the business and in the music industry. And so we immediately got linked up with a couple of key producers. Anybody that knows music producers knows the name Troy Oliver and Troy Taylor. Troy Oliver produced artists like Genuine and Aaliyah, and the list goes on. Troy Taylor, Boyz II Men, Aretha Franklin, Trey Songz. So before I know it, I'm in these guys.
You have to be wide-eyed at this point. Yeah.
I'm in these guys' studios, and they're just, all right, let me hear what you got. It's kind of like that kind of show and prove moment. So we sang, and they gave us a couple of tracks. And the way it worked for us was they gave us a couple of tracks and said, like, if you can write a hit to this, if you could write a nice song to this, then I'll rock with y'all. I'll work with y'all. And so it was kind of like that pressure. So we had to put everything we learned and all, like, this is our moment. And so we would write songs, and we would go back and we would sing them for them and then record it. And so what started to happen was we started to begin to take more time in the studio and then working with us. And that led to us being introduced to Carl Thomas. I don't know if y'all know Carl Thomas, the Bad Boy artist. And so he kind of took us under his wing, and he lived in people don't know this. He lived in New Haven for quite a while. So he's from Chicago, but he also reps New Haven. And so we had the opportunity just to work with him and hone the craft with him, watch him do recording sessions. And
you're how old? While this is happening, you're what, 18?
Yeah, I was around 18, 19. Yeah, 18, 19. Wow. And so working with him and learning the craft, recorded a couple of songs with him, recorded a song with him. Actually, those who are big Carl Thomas fans, his second album, Let's Talk About It, there's a song entitled Dreamer. And so we helped to write that song and also did the backgrounds for that song. So just an amazing experience for us. And then they offered us a contract. Carl Thomas had a division of Bad Boy, which was called Cold World Production. It was supposed to be the sole division of Bad Boy Records. And we got offered an opportunity to go on a tour. I'll never forget it. It was a Seagram's Gin tour with, I don't know if y'all remember Lil Mo. Lil Mo.
Yeah, of course.
I think it was Fabulous and Carl Thomas. And that was going to be our first tour. We were getting ready to fulfill our obligations for that tour. Leading up to that tour, I started having these, I would wake up in the morning. Let me say it like this. I would go to sleep, super excited, like, yeah, man, this is happening. I got the song, and we just got our song placed on the Carl Thomas Let's Talk About It album. And now I'm going on tour. Like, it's popping. Like, this is it. And I remember going to sleep, and then I would wake up, and my eyes would be bloodshot red, and there would be tears like coming down my face. And it's really weird because I felt fine, but I couldn't, I could tell I had been crying in my sleep. So the same thing would happen. I would go to sleep again, and that would happen again. This happened for like 3 nights. And so then I woke up one morning, and I felt like the presence of God in my room. I felt like there's what's called the manifest presence of God. This is the presence of God that's obvious to the mind. Like, it is clear God is in the room. And just as soon as I felt the presence of God in my room, it went away. Next night, that happened for 2 nights. Then on the third night, the night before that, the second night, I said, okay, I'm going to take my journal and I'm going to put it next to my bed. if I wake up again in the presence of God like that again, I'm just going to write down all the questions I have, all the concerns, everything that I had. Because there was a lot of things that I had in my mind that, I had suffered severe depression when I was in high school, like suicidal depression. So I had questions about that, all this kind of stuff.
Can I want to stop you just for context. Are you a churchgoer at this point? Are you like, what is the state of your own faith walk at this point that you're experiencing the manifest presence of God? I think it's critical to the story.
That's a good question, G. I would say I got saved when I was this was happening when I was about 18 or 19. I got saved when I was 16. I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior at around 16 at a funeral. But I wasn't really like really walking with God like I knew I should have been, because I had dreams. I had different things I wanted to do, and that, whether God was a part of it or not, I was like, this is happening. But I knew that Jesus was real, and I knew that that only way to get to heaven was through Jesus. So that was at 16. Then flash forward to around 18. These encounters started to happen to me. And I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what it meant. I was kind of attending church, but not really. It's kind of reading my Bible, but not really. And so I took it to mean that God was trying to like really get, you hear people say God's trying to tell you something. God's trying to get your attention. This was real. This is real. Color purple. And so I'm waking up in the morning. So this next time I wake up in the morning, and just like I thought, the presence of God is in the room. So I just start writing. And I'm writing. And I'm just asking all of these questions. Like, if you could just think to yourself, if you were in the presence of God, or if you were to meet with God face to face, what questions would you ask? And those are all the things I started writing down. Questions about my family, questions about, what God wanted me to do, questions about the music industry, all of this stuff. And just as soon as the presence of God was there, the presence was gone. And I lied to you not, Gigi, I lied to you not. I go back and I look at that journal, and all the questions I have, there were answers to them. I don't remember writing the answers, but there were answers to the question. Now, it wasn't like in somebody else's handwriting or anything like that. It was my handwriting, but it was kind of like, as I was asking the questions, I was also getting the answers in a really deep and profound way. And to this day, I can't find that journal. If I can find that journal, man, I can't find that journal. But so I'm having this interaction with God. And at the end of that last one, I said, okay, I'm not supposed to go on this tour.
Wow. Yeah. 18 years old, about to go. I mean, Bad Boy is,
but listen,
that's it. Like, that's,
you gotta understand, this is Bad Boy this is Bad Boys in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm cracking jokes to myself. I'm saying he's 18 years old. He's about to go on tour with Carl Thomas, Boys the Men, and who else?
No, Carl Thomas, Little Mo, and
Boys the Men.
I think it was Fabulous.
And y'all had a bad record out. So
and so I'm sitting here saying, "Oh man, that ain't nothing but allergies. Go on this tour." But I'm just messing with you. Well, I'm just telling you how I'm thinking. I'm like, but okay, I'm gonna put something in these eyes. I'm gonna be all right. But no. So you had an epiphany. I understand, and I'm enjoying the story. I had to get that joke out. I had to get that one out. Because you're 18 and you're dealing with Puff when he was Puff. Now before Diddy, so that was great. Okay, now finish your story. I apologize. So now you had this epiphany, and then what goes on from there?
I call. So I prayed, and I'm like I prayed anyway, but I knew that God was calling me away from what I was getting ready to get into.
But you're part of a trio.
It's part of a trio, right? Now, mind you, leading up, I mean, it gets so deep. I don't know. But leading up to preparations for the tour, we spent a lot of time with guys in the industry. I'll say this. Carl Thomas was always an amazing dude, upstanding guy. He looked out for us when we were out and about with him. He wasn't, you hear stories, about people doing all kind of wild stuff and introducing people to all kind of crazy stuff. Carl Thomas was pretty protective of us and made sure that when we were out with him that we were straight, and we never saw Carl doing any nonsense. That being said, We have gone to a number of different album releases and a lot of different, kind of parties like that. And it's a lot of bugged out stuff that we saw that, I mean, I don't even want to say on the show, but just stuff that, that's why you got to be careful of these artists and the different people that are in this industry, because the industry, I'm here to tell y'all, and I ain't afraid to say it, is bugged. And I wasn't even deep in the industry like that, but there's stuff that's out there, y'all, that's like what's normal to them is just completely on a whole other level. So I saw a lot of stuff, and I paired that with this encounter with God, and I knew God was calling me out of that. There was a little while I was saying to myself, well, maybe God wants to use me in the industry while I'm in the industry, so I could. And God was like,
trying to make sense of it to go your own way. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I had to call this, guys. This is, I think it was 2 days before we got on the bus. I had to call my bandmates. I had to call my manager and say, guys, I can't go. I can't do it.
Where did you get the fortitude for that at 18 years old to say no to what everybody is after? Fame, fortune, money, girls screaming. How were you able to do that?
Girls screaming, she said.
I know it's true.
Girls screaming.
Listen, I was at some of his shows. I know it. Listen.
You're 18.
I saw the moves.
Yeah. I mean, I think to answer your question, G, it was, God has a way of helping us with our perspectives if we let him. The things that we think we want, we don't. When you get into the presence of God, he's able to just kind of reveal to you, what is real and what is a real desire and what is a fleshly desire and what is his desire. And he has a way of making the big things seem so small, and the more important, what you thought were small things, seem so big. And so, after that encounter, I looked at that bus, I looked at the contract, I looked at the music we were writing, I looked at the opportunities, and they just didn't look the same. They didn't feel the same. And I was able to see them for what they really were, which was really just a distraction for what God really wanted to do in my life. And so it was harder to tell them I wasn't going than it was to walk away.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It does.
So Pastor, okay, so that was an amazing story. I don't want you to cut off there. I want to get into Church on a Rock. So, okay, so we transition from the music industry. Now, how does that happen? You get into being a pastor? Because I want to know the story.
Yeah. So, after I stepped away, one of the things, it's a great question because I asked myself the same thing. Okay, what does this mean? God never calls you to step out of something without setting you up with something to step into. So he's never going to leave you just, okay, I'm taking you out of that, and then you're just out in no man's land. No, he's preparing you for something that he has for you moving forward. The question is, will you follow? And so that was my question. Okay, what does this mean? I'm not on that bus. I'm not going on tour. I'm not signing no contract. I'm not writing any more music. I'm not recording. What am I doing? And so I had, man, I don't know, you remember the Gospel Fest. They still have it. I don't know if they remember, but they still have it. I went to a Gospel Fest with my now wife. She's my girlfriend then. And we just went to stop by because, mind you, all this is happening to me. And I'm just trying to what is God trying to say?
Shout out to Pastor Asia.
Shout out to my lovely wife, Pastor Asia.
Absolutely.
So, at the Gospel Fest, I met who would be later my pastors. I didn't know that they were going to be my pastors, but I met them at the Gospel Fest. And I remember when I met them, I'm like, this is the first time I'm meeting them. I remember thinking, my God, I know those people. And my wife was like, you don't know them, you just met them. And I was like, that's weird. 2 more days later, I end up walking through the doors of Church on the Rock for some event that they were having. And the same thing, I walked into the building, I feel like I'm home. I've never been this is crazy. And so I ended up going to Church on the Rock, attending Church on the Rock. They got word that, and that I became a member, started, attending Bible study, learning and growing. And they got word that I used to sing. And so they asked, I walked into the youth room one day and the the youth worship director had just quit or just left or something, and they were in a bind. They were like, we got all these kids here, we don't know what we're gonna do, and we need some help. And the youth pastor at the time knew that I used to sing, and so he was like, Jason, and I was like, because I didn't really want to do that, you know what I'm saying? And so, but when he called my name,
this person you're a teacher at this point, right? So you're working with young people. You've got the musical talent, and didn't want to do this. That's so interesting.
Right. Yeah. I'm teaching at Cross, by the way. I was an English teacher, a sophomore, teaching all the Cross students. So I'm with kids, I'm working with kids and all kind of stuff. But yeah, when they called me to do that, it was like, I don't know what it was. I just didn't want to, I didn't want to jump in to that level. But I did. And the minute that I started working with these young people, it started to make sense. It started to click. And it was like, okay, God is never going to call me out of something without bringing me into something. And he knew that if he didn't set it up this way, I would run. So he used music to kind of pull me in, use young people to kind of pull me. Because remember, that was my life. City kids, teaching, all this other stuff. It was with kids. And so he pulled me in that way. So I started to lead the rehearsals. Then I started to lead them in praise and worship. Word got out at Church in the Rock, man, there's this young kid that he's leading the youth in praise and worship. Let's have him downstairs on a Sunday morning. So I led the youth in praise and worship on a Sunday morning, and adults were like, can we have him lead down here? And so I started to lead the adults in praise and worship. And then from there, our youth pastor quit his job. Right. He quit and he left. He had a situation, he left. So we didn't have anybody to teach the kids. So first it started with, they didn't have anybody to lead the kids in praise and worship, to now they didn't have anybody to teach the kids at our Wednesday night youth service. So a couple of us, G was there, Gigi, myself, my wife, it was about 6 or 7 of us. We used to take turns teaching each week because we didn't have a youth pastor. And I remember there was one time, it was my turn to teach. And I taught, and I'll never forget it. One of the other leaders that was with us, his name is Clarence Brown. After I taught, he came up to me. He was like, that was really good.
So why am I being asked to do this every other week?
And then he looked at me in some kind of way. He was like, no, that was like really, really good. Yeah. And so fast forward, I got into the rotation of teaching, and then it came time because the youth needed a leader. So the pastors at the time asked me to lead the youth, in every day, in the weekly youth services. And then that went from that to getting training and taking courses, and then finally being ordained as the youth pastor. And then we took the youth, I don't know, G, from every Wednesday night, Sydney Haven, from about, it was about maybe 15
kids to,
and then it went to about 50, on a good night, closer to 70. At our peak, 70, 75 kids every single Wednesday coming in, just learning about the Word of God, learning about their lives, learning about what God wants from them in their lives. Just an awesome time. I took them on trips and did all kind of cool stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
And then from there, I did that for a couple of years.
You're still a teacher at this point.
I'm still teaching, but then I eventually left teaching and went full-time in ministry. And then I did that for about 4 or 5 years. And then by then, shout out to Pastors Todd and Leslie Foster, they were ready to transition out of ministry and asked me to take the helm as lead pastor of Church in the Rock. And that was in 2018.
And there you go. That's how it was fulfilled. Oh my! This is an amazing story.
It's amazing, and I know that he's leaving a lot out, because you don't just quit your job and say I'm become a pastor. There's a wrestling, I'm sure, that happens there too.
Yeah. I'm giving y'all the edited
within the time frame.
Yes. Listen, I'm sitting back. I'm listening to the story because I did not know the story. I know Gigi is so excited about the story. We were talking about it off camera.
I want him to sing some of his on point songs, but I'm gonna let him. No, I won't do it to you.
And so I don't want to put you on spot. And I know we're
pressed for time. There's a lot of story, little time.
But just listen, the platform you have created, Church of God on the Rock in the city of New Haven, is a pillar. It's been around a long time.
Church on the Rock, New Haven.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Church on the Rock in New Haven is a pillar, and to have your support of your sister, your entire family is huge. Church. You know, and the church itself. I literally am so excited to have you on camera, have you on our podcast. Thank you for taking out the time to come and share your story. That's so important because
can we? Because I know we're near time, but I think you have to talk about the direction that you're taking Church on the Rock and some of the offshoots. So that's, I mean, you have the platform here. So please talk a little bit about CTR Global.
Yeah, sure. So, Church on the Rock, New Haven. We're an awesome non-denominational church. We're big family. I think at this point we're, I don't know how many people, regular attenders, 400 or 500 people, and growing. God had put in my heart, you know, really quickly, everything that I did, it seemed like God was like, you know, that's really nice. That's really nice. It didn't matter how big I did it. God was like, that was real cute. And I remember coming to God like, what's that about? And God gave me the vision of, you know, I don't want this to just stay in New Haven. This needs to go around the world. And so God gave me a global vision for Church on the Rock. And so I put that out to the congregation, and I got with my team, and we started to look at what does this look like to launch worldwide. And that was in 2020. Since then, we've launched a campus in Lima, Peru. We've launched a campus in Monrovia, Liberia in Africa, and we've launched a campus in Lahore, Pakistan. And so we've got Church on the Rocks in all these different continents. And the goal is to have at least 2 Church on the Rocks in every continent, with the exception of Antarctica. That'll be a little weird. But yes.
You're not going to Antarctica.
Wow. Yeah. Honestly, this is amazing what you just stated. Before you came on camera, Gigi and I were talking about how we created Jazzy Conversations with Teef and Gigi.
This is our anniversary episode. It's been 1 year today.
And I appreciate it. And it started with just passion. You know, it really started with a thought process and just passion. And hearing you saying, my goal is to have 2 churches everywhere, all around the world. That's all passion. I mean, of course you have to see it, but you got to have that passion to do it. Yeah. So a big shout out to you. Seriously. Yeah. I mean that. So we're just happy to have you, right, G?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if I haven't said it lately, so proud of you. So proud of you. Yes.
From your big sister. Yes. So that always carries weight from your big sister. Listen, is there anything else you have going on? Do you want to give a shout out to your church, your wife, whoever, before we end this?
Of course, shout out to Church on the Rock, New Haven. You can hit us up on Church on the Rock, New Haven on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, Church on the Rock, New Haven on YouTube, Instagram, all those good things. Of course, shout out to my precious wife, my childhood friend to my wife today, mother of my children, Asia Goubourn. I want to shout out COTR Lahore, Pakistan. Shout out to Pastor Faisal and the crew. Shout out to Blamo and like Church on the Rock, Liberia. And shout out to Teef and Gigi on their anniversary.
We appreciate it, G. Give it up.
Shout out to us.
We appreciate it. We're grinding just like you are. We've been blessed to bring on some amazing people. We want to continue to do that. But to have people like you say, yes, I would love to be on the podcast and talk about your platform, we sincerely appreciate that. On behalf of Jazzy Conversations, I'm Teef.
And I'm proud Gigi.
And
we can't leave. Our producer, Kenny's, says hi. You know Kenny's?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let I say this real quick. Kenny's know the deal. Kenny's was with me on some of those studios. He can tell you some stories too.
Oh, he's smiling from ear to ear.
He's seen some of the dark side. Yeah.
Listen, he's the magic, and we appreciate having him. And on behalf of Jazzy Conversations, I'm Teef.
I'm Gigi.
Pastor, have a good night. Take care.
Thank you. God bless.
Oh, gee.
That's baby bro.
That is your baby brother. And he's doing some amazing things. I had no clue.
No, he really is.
You know, I mean, come on, internationally.
It's just a part of the vision. And I will say this, from somebody that grew up in the same household, this is somebody, what am I doing? Because the show ain't over.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I don't know where to start. Tell me where.
I said, listen, start from. Absolutely. I'm proud of your brother.
Yeah, I am so proud. Okay, so just start the whole.
Okay, and start over in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was a great interview.
Great interview.
Jay, I had no clue he was doing all the things he's doing internationally. Come on, like
international. And I can say, as somebody that we grew up together, same household. I mean, to see the changes that he's come through. This is a man of God. He follows after it. He prays hard, and he doesn't make a move that he doesn't believe that he has been directed to follow.
Awesome.
So I'm proud to call him my baby brother and my pastor.
Absolutely,
Proud.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I was actually, that was one of the interviews. I was just sitting back listening.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know his story. I haven't seen him in so many years.
Yeah, yeah.
And the respect and love we were showing each other, because again, we were older than him. So he looked at me as Teef and Gigi,
That's
you know,
right.
and I'm like, wow. I remember.
And he's the baby, so there's many years between us.
I know your whole, all the siblings. So big shout out to them. That was amazing. So proud of him and his wife and what they're creating, and you guys at the church. Big shout out. All right.
Big shout out.
Another amazing episode, G.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. A 1 full year of Jazzy Conversations with Teef and Gigi.
Yeah.
Thank you guys sincerely for supporting us. It was a vision. It was a thought process, determination. And for the people that says, I want to be on that show, it means a lot to us. We're going to continue to press forward. Thank you. On behalf of Jazzy Conversations, I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
Have a great night, guys. Take care.